Welcome back to Skynyrd Shorts here on YouTube, our favorite YouTube channel. Today's episode is my favorite number.
This is your number.
It is my number. I've always, in every sport I ever played, I got to be number 44. And I don't even know what significance it has. It's, it was just the number that I was. And so I was always 44. Kind of cool thing. Thank everybody for your comments and talking about the message songs. I still get chill bumps thinking about episode 43, but 44, we're going to do something really crazy. This is crazy because we are going to talk about the Ronnie Van Zant solo record that's still unreleased as of this day, right? But let's talk about it and let's do a little background on why we know that was going to happen.
Well, Ronnie was going to start producing the band because I think his voice was tired of singing. What were the other issues he was having?
I don't know. He was just thinking. I mean, did the Molly Hatchet thing, right? Ronnie is branching out. He is too big for Lynyrd Skynyrd, right? And so is it going to now, what he's thinking is going to be Steve Gaines and Lynyrd Skynyrd. I mean, Steve, that fits so perfect, right? It
just makes too much sense.
It really does. I mean, so it's 1978. They finished the Street Survivors tour. Ronnie goes off to do his own thing, right?
Well, he's going to stay with Skynyrd producing. He's going to try to produce and his other bands that he's, come across, Molly Hatchet and such. He was going to stay involved with the bands that he was picking bands.
Yeah, I mean, the guy had an ear, he had a sense, but he had also built relationships all across the music scene of respect. So many people respected him. But Ronnie, at heart, was not a rock and roller. Ronnie was a country dude. Ronnie was a Merle Haggard guy. And he was going to make the solo record. Maybe he did. We still haven't found it yet. But he was going to make the solo record that was going to be his stuff, right? Ronnie Van Zant stuff. Maybe he didn't even write all the songs, But so we're going to take a page out of the Danny Joe Brown book, and Ronnie was going to call it Ronnie Van Zant and the Ronnie Van Zant Band.
Very simple.
Probably not. I think a better name for his band might have been Made in the Shade, a song he wrote for Shorty. So I don't know. But Ronnie Van Zant and the Ronnie Van Zant Band. So first of all, let's just talk about who would be in the band.
Who's he going to recruit to be his players?
I mean, so is it rock and roll guys? Is it country guys? Is it guys that go both ways? What is it? I mean, I don't see Artemis Pyle ever being his drummer because he's, a big power guy. He's not, he's more the Charlie Watts kind of guy, but who's the guitarist? So here's what we know. He already enjoyed writing with Jeff Carlisi, right? But here in 1978, Carlisi's about to make it big.
38 Special's about to hit.
That's the rock in the night, right, thing. And maybe Carlisi doesn't have time. Maybe when they're home they write songs together, but is Carlisi going to be in the Ronnie Van Zant Band?
Maybe too much to ask. And his brother might not be happy about that too, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At that time, what is bigger? Rocket Into the Night or Ronnie Van Zant's solo project? Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't think Ronnie would have put Jeff in that place, but certainly Ronnie is comfortable writing with Jeff and might write some songs with Jeff. So I'm going to say Jeff's not going to be in the band. But do you know who is in the band? Barry Lee Harwood. Barry Lee Harwood is going to be the guitarist for the Ronnie Van Zant Band. I can't think of any reason why he wouldn't be.
This makes too much sense.
Because there's no Rosalind Collins at this point. Barry's hanging out there. He's kind of a hired gun. That's the guy. So that's one guy I think all of you will agree is going to be in the band. Right?
His skills do vary. He can do whatever he wants to.
Drummer. Would he bring Bob back?
Bob Burns. He's a good friend.
He trusts Bob? He likes Bob?
Maybe this is an easy gig for Bob. Maybe this doesn't put a lot of pressure on Bob.
And Ronnie's always wanted to take care of his friends, right?
And Bob's a long-time friend.
And this is an opportunity for Bob to get involved. So maybe, of course, maybe Robert Nix gets involved. The ARS is coming, they're falling apart by this time or about to. Maybe. Or, of course, there's also a ton of talent in Jacksonville. All right. But don't forget, Ronnie knows people all across the world at this point. And he's no longer bound to just Jacksonville. So it could be anybody. I'm going to tell you a couple things that I think is crazy is we talk about bass player. He's looking for a different kind of bass player. Maybe not a stand-up bass guy, but I think he's going to pick somebody from country music to be his bass player.
Who would that be at that time?
Well, who knows, but he knows Gene Price, who was bass player for The Strangers. The Strangers were Merle Haggard's band from the 60s to the mid-70s. And so Gene Price, unbelievable bass player, right? At the same time, that same band, there's a pedal steel player named Ralph Mooney. Hall of Famer guy. But why wouldn't he want those kind of guys in his band?
I think they'd want to be in his band.
I mean, not exactly, yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is Ronnie Van Zant. We definitely want to be in your band.
And he's going to make contact with Merle. He's probably going to talk to Waylon. He's going to, he's going to network around.
Charlie Daniels.
Just like Charlie Daniels suggested Artemis Pyle. He's going to get players that fit him and fit what he wants to do because Ronnie's well respected in the business. Right? It's going to be an amazing band. But I thought something else that was really crazy. Why wouldn't he want Crazy Horse to be his backing band? Because we know he's hooked up with Neil Young in a lot of ways right here. So Billy Talbot on bass, Ralph Molina on drums. Wouldn't that be just... Because those guys, if you listen to Neil Young, they're all over the board. He does some country stuff. He does some rock and roll stuff. These guys are versatile.
Very versatile, yeah.
They'd be great.
A broad range.
They'd be great. Or why not even bring Neil Young with him too? Right? Have Neil Young in the band. That would be great. I mean, that's almost mind-boggling. I mean, Ronnie Van Zant and Crazy Horse.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, so what's Ronnie thinking? How's that, going to be put together? We know some of the songs on the record, right? It's hard for me to think the Jacksonville Kid is not going to be there as his homage to Merle, right? It's going to be there. We know Four Walls of Rayford is going to be there. The original version, hopefully, not Skynyrdized. We know Powderfinger is going to be on there. It's going to probably be the first single. I mean, Powderfinger is going to be amazing. It's going to be bigger with Ronnie Van Zant doing it than I think it was with Neil Young doing it.
Don't you hope and believe that Ronnie's thinking all these things as he's putting together his band and his album? What's on his mind? Are these things on his mind? His history? What's made him big? What's helped him get big?
Yeah, I obviously Ronnie way smarter than me. We can't even imagine what his goals or his thoughts were at this point, except that we know that he was going to branch out into all kinds of, like you mentioned producing, managing bands and guiding bands, as well as his own, career. I mean, couldn't you imagine in the Highwaymen, instead of Chris Christopherson, it had been Waylon, Willie, Ronnie. I mean, think about it.
Well, that'd be pretty great.
No, Ronnie in the 80s, Ronnie's going to be one of the Highwaymen.
That would be great.
It's
You're right. It's mind-boggling, and it's fun to think about.
Yeah, he's at Willie's big Texas picnic plan every summer. I mean, he's at Farm Aid. Oh my God, it's just the world in the 80s was setting up for Ronnie Van Zant. Because we know Southern rock was kind of declining, but country music was getting bigger. It was getting bigger and bigger. And he knew all these folks, and he had relationships already. It's just, wow. It's kind of sad in a way, isn't it?
You believe Dolly might want to be a part of it, too?
I mean, who wouldn't want to be part of it? It's just, the 80s were prime for Ronnie and the Ronnie Van Zant band. I imagine that he'd do some more Merle Haggard songs, probably. Maybe write some songs with Waylon, Willie, Imagine if Ronnie Van Zant and Willie are writing together. Can you imagine? Freebird meets Georgia on My Mind. I mean,
Yeah, that'd be a songwriting duo for ages, right there.
and it was going to happen. It was going to happen because all these guys respected Ronnie, and everybody wanted to be a part of what Ronnie's doing, and it never happened. It never happened. But in the movie, and you're going to produce the movie, right?
I would have to, man.
Where we're going to imagine all these things in this world. So we're kind of giving away a screenplay right now. Don't steal our idea.
It's pages and pages.
Yeah. But imagine Ronnie Van Zant in the 80s. You know, and Lynyrd Skynyrd, on the other hand, think about what they're doing. I mean, they got Steve Gaines, Alan Collins, and Gary Rossington coming into their own, because really in their 20s, they're not even at the peak of their songwriting power.
Street Survivors is just bringing them to their own right there.
I mean, think about it.
I think Ronnie wanted Steve to just double up on that and move, forward with his production.
Yeah, the next record's got One in the Sun is going to be the top single, right, coming off it. It's going to be amazing. Who knows what Alan and Gary can come up with from their riffs and licks, and being challenged by Steve to be better, right? I mean, I don't know. Where Lynyrd Skynyrd might have gotten even bigger.
Just think of all the extra input that Steve was going to bring to them.
Yeah, and every now and then maybe Ronnie does a few songs with them, right?
Yeah, special guest, right?
Yeah, special guest, the Ronnie Van Zant, right? I mean, probably. Why not? I'd love to have Ronnie in my record when I do my solo record.
He may be doing special guests with Johnny Van Zant Band and the 38 Special Band. Who knows what all he's going to be part of.
Wow. Just imagine. The Johnny Van Zant Band would have continued on.
I think so.
I love the Johnny Van Zant Band. Imagine that, Joe. The Johnny Van Zant, produced by Ronnie Van Zant. Managed, guided, led, inspired by Ronnie Van Zant. Imagine.
Faster, stronger, better than ever.
Hey, that's a good point. I never even thought of that. Wow.
Think of the Outlaws being produced by Ronnie Van Zant.
I mean,
Maybe Huey Thompson wants to come in and play some too.
Alan Collins would still be alive. I mean, think about all of it. It's just true.
The world would be right.
Dale Krantz would still be a backup singer. I mean,
a very amazing backup singer.
No, I'm just saying. Just if all these things happen, there is no Roslyn Collins band. I mean, it's crazy.
Leon and Billy still really good friends and still playing very well.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Okay, well, I don't know. I bet we've raised a lot of questions and put a lot of thoughts in y'all's minds. Way smarter than we are. So tell us what you think. Tell us who's in the band. Tell us what you know. Maybe somebody's heard something.
Who's in the movie?
Yeah, who's going to play me in the... Wait, no, I'm not in the movie. Yeah, I don't know. Who's in the movie?
You had a cameo.
Yeah, I want to be in it a little bit, right? Maybe I can play the part. I mean, I can play the part of Kent Griffith, guitar tech or something, right? That might be fun. All right. Anything else on tonight's episode?
I think this is fun. I think it's fun to think about. It's fun to play with. Like what if. These what ifs can be really a lot of fun.
It's a little sad.
We can build things. It's a little sad, but we can say what if in a really, really good future would have been.
A little sad. All right, well, y'all, give us your thoughts and your ideas. The comments are the very best part of our show. It's the very best. It's where y'all tell us how much smarter y'all are than us and give us all these creative ideas. But so jump on the comments. Let us hear what's going on. And I'm not even going to tell you what's coming up next because we got some surprises coming up real soon. A lot of fun. Anything else, Joe?
Yeah. Like you said, we live Skynyrd. We live Ronnie Van Zant. Our Skynyrd shorts, I hope shows that to you.
My whole life. It's just true. It's just true. Like when you graduate high school. All right, what a night that was. All right, we'll see you next time here on Skynyrd Shorts, our favorite YouTube channel. Until then, be careful.
Be good.